As you can see, I have a headlamp here that's got a yellow frost color to it. Perhaps you have a vehicle that has the same problem. It just comes with age. It's what it does is it dims the lighting, so you don't get as much light at night when you're driving, and it just looks horrible. I picked up this Rain-X Premium Headlight Restoration Kit. I'm going to go ahead and show you how this works. What you want to do is you want to protect the paint around the headlamp. So I'm going to put some tape around the rubber isolation to the lamp, and the everything is just protected. You can use just about any type of tape, something that's not going to stick and leave a residue or a mess behind. I got some shipping tape here that I'm going to use. It'll peel off easy. So I'm going to just go ahead and peel this off and tape around. As you can see, I taped all the way around here. It's going to protect everything that I need to have protected. Doesn't look pretty, but it works. Now, the first thing you want to grab out of the box is the drill attachment. You just put that in the drill. Pretty simple. The first sand device that you want to put on is a 1500 grade sanding disc. It's a brown color. And this is just Velcro. I'm just going to put this on here. That's on there pretty good. Pretty simple. Now the manufacturer calls this to be done with water, so I'm just going to squirt this down. We'll just keep that a little damp, keep it wet, and drill. Now the instructions call for a one pass, just a one-time pass, but I just want to know that I have it done thoroughly, so I'm going to go ahead and do 2 passes. You just don't want to push very hard. Just push gentle. The paper will do its work. But once you get this dried off, you can see a bit of a frost. That's what you want. The next color you want is gray. It's a 3200 grade sanding disc. This one's been used for a prior application on another vehicle. So you just want to fit that on there the best you can. Of course, when this kit is brand new and not been used, it's a lot easier to put on. There you go. And once again, I just want to go ahead and wet the area down. Just wet that down real good. Spray bottle's the easiest to use. And just do the same thing with the gray. going to go ahead and, it's getting a little dry, so I'm going to go ahead and just wet it down a little more. This next step is going to be the blue colored paper. It's the 4000 grade sanding disc. Put the green one on. As you can see, I got to pull that off again. It's still not very centered, so I'm going to pull that off again. Let me get this just right. That's good enough. And then same thing, I'm just going to get some water on here. So now we want to make sure this is completely dry before we do the next on the polish. Now this is the Rain-X Premium Headlight polishing pad. This just goes on there like that. You want to make sure it's nice and centered. It's not, so I'm going to go ahead and reattach that. I want to make sure that's center. Now this is the polish. I'm just going to put just a little dab on there, maybe about a nickel, size of a quarter. And then I'm just going to buff it on the headlamp. Now, my first application, the buffer pad was really dry. So before I wipe and clean this, I'm just going to add some more. Just rub it on there. Now, I got my first on here, my first layer. The manufacturer calls for 3 to 6 applications. I don't know if I'm going to have that much. We'll see. We'll just see how much I can do here. But I'm just going to do both lamps, one at a time. That way they're equal. You just want to let this dry a little bit, and then you want to go ahead and sprinkle it down with some more water, and then wipe it down nice and clean, and just wipe it down really good. You can see it's already looking amazing. So you want to just make sure this is dry again before you apply the second one. And as I mentioned, before I get started on the next one, I'm just going to get another paper towel here. I really want to make sure this is dry. That's going to help the polish to get into where it needs to go. And we'll just go ahead and put on some more. About a nickel size is what they call for. Smear it on. One thing I want to point out is that we're not really buffing it on. We're just smearing it on. So you don't want to push very hard. You just want to give a nice coat on the headlamp. Now, we got pretty clear. It's looking amazing, but I've got enough here to do at least another third. As I mentioned, I went ahead and I wet it down. I wiped it clean and dry again, and here we go. I'm going to go do my third application here. I get to do a fourth one here. I got more liquid in here than I realized. So I'm going to do a fourth. Just smear that on there. So this is going to be my last one. I'm going to just go ahead and wet that down again and get this all nice and cleaned up here. This is looking amazing. Look at that. Looks almost brand new. I'm going to get this nice and clean and super dry again. I want to get this bone dry because the last and the final is like a treatment. So just a quick recap. We got the brown disc, the 1500 grade sanding disc. Got the big bulk of the yellow and the frost off. And then we just went down to where we needed to go, each one step at a time. And now the last and final phase is the Rain-X Premium Headlight Protectant Sealant Wipe. You got to wear gloves with this or else it'll burn you. You want to make sure you're wearing gloves. Now this kit did come with some gloves. I want to make sure your hands are protected. Now this comes in on a cloth. It's just a damp, wet cloth, which makes it pretty simple and easy to use. As I mentioned, I've used this kit on another car, but I kept it moist so it's nice and moist. So this will make a nice treatment. You just want to rub it on there. Cover the area very liberally, really well. So I've applied the final treatment. The instructions call for it to dry for at least 1 hour. Air dry, that is. You want to let it air dry for 1 hour. You might see some streaks from the wetness, but it just kind of evens out as it dries. So don't worry about evening out the treatment. You don't have to worry about that. But as you can see, this looks pretty amazing. Looks a lot better than it did before, that's for sure. This headlamp is from a 17-year-old vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and just peel off this tape now while I'm letting that cure for 1 hour. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, but as I mentioned, I'm pretty impressed with this kit. This is a nice kit. It was really easy to use, good instructions. As long as you got a drill, and if you're willing to get down on a stool and get your hands dirty, it's worth it. It doesn't eliminate the little cracks inside just from aging, but it is well protected and no moisture is going to get inside there. It took me a total of 1 hour to do this whole treatment, plus another hour to let it cure before you expose the headlamp to the elements, the outdoor elements, water, rain, snow, whatever. And I went ahead and I did the fog lamp down there as well. But I'm pretty impressed with this. I think this is a pretty good product. I'm happy with what it's done. And here's the final before and after. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't given this video a thumbs up yet, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you very much for your support. I'll see you guys in my next video.